what I would like to say is not an interpellation. Maybe I will just make a very general manifestation, Mr. Chair, because up to now, I am not yet sure how how can we address this looming problem that the country faces in relation to fake news and deep fakes, false narratives and false information. In the face of certain gold standard set by our Supreme Court. This gold standard, Mr. Chair, came in the form of decisions. May I just cite at least 4 of them, Mr. Chair, for our sake. This concerns the conduct of public men, people in government, and how criticisms can be hurled against them and how should they respond to these criticisms. I think these are very important standards, Mr. Chair, in the wake of our desire to probably make laws in relation to free speech. The first one, Mr. Chair, is the case of Piabut versus Office of the Ombudsman, 303 Philippines 319. And I quote this: a public official, more especially an elected one, should not be onion-skinned. Strict personal discipline is expected of an occupant of a public office because a public official is a property of the public. He is looked upon to set the example how public officials should correctly conduct themselves, even in the face of extreme provocation. The second standard, or the second case that reiterates this standard, Mr. Chair, is United States versus Bustos, 37 Philippines 731. And I quote this: the interest of society and the maintenance of good government demand a full discussion of public affairs, complete liberty to comment on the conduct of public men is a scalpel in the case of free speech. The sharp incision of its probe relieves the abscesses of officialdom. Men in public life may suffer under a hostile and unjust accusation. The wound can be assuaged with the balm of clear conscience. A public officer must not be too skinned with reference to comment upon his official acts. The third one, Mr. Chair, is Sason versus CA, 325 Philippines 1053. On this point, the rule is that defamatory remarks and comments on the conduct of acts of public officers which are related to the discharge of their official duties will not constitute libel if the defendant proves the truth of the imputation. And the last one, Mr. Chair, is De Leon versus People 776 Philippines 701. And I quote this: while petitioners' declarations may be offensive, they are not actionable by themselves. Being sensitive has no place in this line of service, more so when allowing otherwise has the potential to create a chilling effect on the public. Mr. Chair, why am I stressing this gold standard as enunciated by some of the important decisions of the Supreme Court? Because as public men, as public servants, I have cited an example earlier when one blogger attacked me indiscriminately, called me demonyo and all this. My defense to that, Mr. Chair, is not probably to ask him in public to explain or even ask for an apology or he be restrained by this committee, but I will just stand upright, as upright as I can and clean as I am, because people would judge me for what I am and for what this person could do against me. Yun lang po ang nakikita kong parang armas natin. Kapag nakikita nila tayo as transparent as we can to these people, people can easily distinguish na wala yan, sinungaling yan. Like, yun lang ang gusto kong maging karanasan ng tao, kahit na siguro hindi ko na siya demanda o pagalitan o gumawa ng action against him. It is enough that people would not listen to him anymore, that he will be rendered useless and people would just judge him as, you know, as a liar, somebody who peddles something that cannot be accepted by people. To me, that is already a consolation, Mr. Chair. So kung ating pong mga vloggers ay maaring napapasobra po yung kanilang pagkikriticize sa atin, talaga kung minsan po ay ganon. We have to strike a balance between the public affairs, between the public issues that must be deliberated completely and in the light of an extensive discussion of public affairs of government. You have to strike a balance between the importance of these issues discussed in public and the hostile accusation that might arise from this. Yun po yung gusto ko po. May mga batas naman po tayo, once they attack us on a private side, ang sinasabi po ito very, very easily, that could constitute libel pagka-personal na po. Kagaya po nung tinawag niya po akong demonyo, okay, yun na po, personal na po yun. It's up to me to act kung gagamitin ko pa po yun. Pero sa akin po ay parang ano na lang yun. Katulad po nung nakaraan na pagdinig po, hindi ko makalimutan, isang abogado pa naman yun na nagbablog po na sinabi niya na huwag kayong maniwala sa pakulo at panliling lang ni Marcoleta. You were here, Mr. Chair and members, nung tanungin ko po siya, ano po ba po yung basihan ninyo na ako po'y nandin lang. Wala po siyang maisagot ng kahit ano. He is a lawyer and he was allegedly teaching in a very reputable law school. So yun po, Mr. Chair, pwede ko po siyang demanda ng pwede ko po siyang padisbar, no? Iniisip ko lang po na pwede kong gawin yun because as a lawyer, ay maling-mali po yung ginawa niya because we have our own code na talaga pong pinagsisikapan naming itaguyod sa mga members po ng Philippine Bar. So, meron po tayong mga batas na umiiral, Mr. Chair. May libel, ando na po yung maring madisbar po yung mga kamukha namin na members ng Philippine Bar na nasosobrahan na po yung sinasabi nila. Pero sa mga vloggers po na maaaring kinikriticize tayo because our conduct is public. Yung pagsisilbi natin is public. They need some kind of a medium. Nakikita po nila tayo that we should be as transparent and accountable as we can be. Sa akin po ay binibigay ko na lang pong isang karapatan para sa kanila. Wag lang po sana yung sumobra po na maging personal na po ang mga pangyayari. Maraming salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Paalala lang po sa lahat, pakilapit po yung mikropono dahil may problema tayo sa audio. Medyo mahina po. The next to interpolate, Representative Rods Gutierrez. You have the floor.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I understand we have quite a lot of topics to discuss today. And first of all, I'd like to express my gratitude to our resource persons for attending after this whole time that they have not, no? Although we have to recall that twofold po yung privileged speech ni Congressman Barbers. On one hand, we have the proliferation of fake news of the bloggers na binabanggit, and I'm sure we'll be getting to that at a later time. But one thing that we'd like to discuss is also that might have been forgotten is the other privileged speech of the Honorable Barbers regarding fake news in China. So this is something that we wanted to highlight in the previous hearings. However, wala po yung the social media platform most involved. Luckily today, we'd like to thank them for their appearance. Nandito po yung ByteDance, owners of TikTok. So we could now discuss this issue thoroughly. To begin po, I'd like to direct my questions to the good spokesperson of the Coast Guard, Commodore Tariela. Commodore Tariela, magandang umaga po sa inyo. Good afternoon na pala po. Good noon. Sir, meron po kasi earlier this month to the Honorable Chairman, kumakalat na post sa Chinese social media platforms. And instead of just limiting yung discussions sa West Philippine Sea, parang expanded na po yung kanilang claim. Lately, their claim now is that nagsasabi na ang China ay nagmamay-ari at namamahala sa Palawan.